We need to make sure that Estonian politicians are not making a big mistake these days. My name is Christoph Huebner. I'm the president of EERICA, the Estonian E-Residents International Chamber Association. And for the last 5 years, I have the honor to represent and speak on behalf of all e-residents. And today is one of those days where I need to address a topic, and that is the discussion about the upcoming security tax. Don't get me wrong, we are all very grateful for the ecosystem that we find here in Estonia and aware that we also need to contribute to the safety and security of Estonia and to Ukraine. I'm a NAFO fellow myself, have been supporting Help 99 not only with raising donations but also with driving convoys from here down to Kiev several times. So there is no discussion about that. But we need to discuss about how this money is raised. And a temporary annual profit tax is not the solution. And here's why. There are two things. No temporary tax has ever been temporary. And the second thing is be aware of the magnitude of what you're discussing here and all the extra rules, red tape, additional employees in tax offices you would need to have. So coming from Germany myself, there is this thing since 1991 with a reunification of Germany. There was a temporary solidarity surcharge put in place for the personal income tax. And guess what? 30 years later, the solidarity surcharge is still in place. There's also a sparkling wine tax in Germany that was imposed in 1903 to fund the imperial naval fleet. The imperial naval fleet is long history, but the sparkling wine tax isn't. And so keeping this in mind, when we ever talk about a temporary tax, the only thing temporary about that is the tax rate, not the tax itself. It will never go. So it comes to stay, and that's why we need to make sure that it's done well. And adding a annual profit tax to the Estonian system will change the landscape here once and forever in a way that I'm pretty sure the politicians that are proposing this cannot want. Let me give you some examples. In other countries where many of us e-residents come from Spain, from France, from Italy, from Germany, we come to here because it's so easy to do business, because there is accounting in a way that we haven't seen before. And Estonians often don't even understand this difference because you are so spoiled with a system that is so much better for the development of the company and also for the development of the country. I mean, look how Estonia is standing here today. If I would want to buy a new computer in a company in Germany, in France, wherever, I would need to first look up the national table on depreciation, see if the government allows me to depreciate this computer for 3 years or for 4 years. If I buy a chair, a car, a building, for all these are rules, how I may count them against my profits, because there is a big conflict of interest between the government and the businesses that does not exist here in Estonia. In all other countries, the government wants us businesses to have a profit in our books as high as possible because that's the base for the taxation. And as the businesses, we want to have a tax, a profit in our books that is as low as possible because that's the base for the taxation. So that means we have two different annual reports. We have one for our business ourselves that tells us the truth and the numbers of where the company is standing. And then we need to prepare one that is only for the tax office according to their rules and their standards for the taxation. So if you now come up with an annual profit tax, you will have to make up so many new rules that are currently not existing about what does depreciation, to what extent are R&D expenses allowed to be counted against the profit. All these things, why we e-residents are coming to Estonia. We're not coming for a low tax rate here. We're coming for the ease of doing business. And that will change dramatically if you come up with rules on what an annual profit looks like. So if you would need to implement all this just for 2% of temporary tax, it is not worth it. It will backfire big time. So please, please reconsider this. We are very much okay with contributing to the efforts to the security and safety of Estonia, but please do it within the framework of the existing tax system. Do not come up with a new type of tax that most probably you haven't thought through all the consequences of additional cost to the companies, because accounting will get way more complex and companies will need to hire way more accountants, and the government needs to hire way more people for the tax authorities to check on the annual reports to see if the profits have been calculated in the right way according to the rules. All this for 2% of temporary tax, it's really not worth it. Please reconsider this and come to another solution. Thank you very much for your attention on behalf of more than 100,000 e-residents of Estonia.